What if the reason you can't stay consistent has nothing to do with motivation? Not laziness, not discipline, not time. What if the real problem is a psychological switch inside your identity that you've never learned how to control? Because here's the hard truth: you are not failing at habits. You are failing at becoming one stable version of yourself. And every time you try something new, your brain quietly asks, is this really who we are? If the answer is unclear, it shuts everything down. Most people think habits fail because they lack discipline, but psychology says something deeper. Your brain doesn't follow what you want, it follows what you believe you are. This is called identity-based behavior. If you believe I don't stick to things, your brain will automatically protect that identity even when you try to change. Because the brain hates contradiction. This is called cognitive consistency. So when you try a new habit, your brain doesn't ask, is this useful? It asks, does this match who we are? If not, resistance appears instantly. And that resistance is not laziness, it is identity conflict. Now here's something even more important. Your brain runs on dopamine. But dopamine is not pleasure. It is anticipation of reward. And your brain has been trained to prefer fast rewards. Scrolling, switching tasks, quick entertainment, instant dopamine. So when you try something hard like studying or working out, there is no immediate reward. So your brain makes a simple decision. Why suffer now when easier rewards exist? This creates a loop. Easy behavior, instant dopamine repeat. Hard behavior, delayed reward, avoid. This is why consistency feels painful at the beginning. Not because you are weak, but because your dopamine system is misaligned. And here's what keeps you stuck longer. Your brain physically changes based on repetition. This is called neuroplasticity. Every repeated action strengthens neural pathways. Think of it like walking in grass. The more you walk the same path, the more it becomes a road. So every time you procrastinate, avoid, or quit early, you are building a stronger default pathway for that behavior. And when you try to change suddenly, your brain resists, not because it hates change, but because it trusts strength over intention. So you are not just trying to change habits, you are trying to reroute a brain that has already built highways. So what actually works? Not motivation, not pressure, not big goals, identity proof. Instead of saying, I will work out every day, you say, I am someone who never misses 2 minutes of movement. Instead of forcing discipline, you shrink the action until your brain cannot resist it. Because your brain doesn't believe words, it believes evidence. Every small action becomes a vote for a new identity, and repeated votes start to overwrite the old one. Slowly, the flickering stops, and the identity stabilizes. So here's the real shift. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your identity. And if your identity is unclear, your behavior will always be unstable. But once your brain starts receiving consistent proof of who you are becoming, consistency stops feeling like effort. It becomes automatic, not because you became more disciplined, but because you finally became one version of yourself long enough for your brain to believe it.